to Curious Life. Today we are grabbing our cleaning supplies and finding some motivation and getting on with a kitchen zone clean. Which, if you aren't sure what a zone clean is, it's a deep clean of a zone in your house. And the one that I'm doing today is the kitchen. It's overdue and I need to get it done, and I'm in the mood today to do it. So let's get started. And as you can see from these before pictures, this kitchen is in need of some help. I mean, it's not all bad. A lot of it is surface mess because I just haven't cleared away after breakfast yet. But everything in here just feels like it needs a little bit of a refresh. And if you've been following for a while, then you already know that I've been struggling with my routines this year, and the house is suffering as a result. So let's get started, and I'm going to start with throwing a load of laundry in while I'm cleaning, because I do try and do a load most days to keep on top of that particular issue. And then once that's going, I'll move on to tidying up, because it's pretty difficult to clean if you're dealing with mess. This mess might look bad, but it's not terrible, and it is just everyday mess that we deal with as a result of living and cooking in a tiny kitchen. I do have to keep on top of this throughout the day, otherwise it ends up an overwhelming mess to deal with. So although this is actually a normal mess for us, there are a few things that have snuck onto the kitchen counter that don't really belong there, that I do need to deal with. Once the room is tidier, then I can start with my first job for deep cleaning, which is removing everything off the counters and giving it a really good clean. These surfaces get cleaned multiple times a day, but I try and include a really thorough clean in my zone cleans. I know I keep mentioning zone cleans, which is what I call this, and I'll go into what and how that fits into my system in a little bit. But first, let's relax into this clean and finish cleaning the sides so that we can move on to cleaning the sink and give that a good clean too. I tend to clean the sides and the sink first because having those areas clean helps make the rest of the clean just a little bit easier, which is good because my next task is to give some of the kitchen appliances a clean. I don't always clean everything every time I do a zone clean. I do tend to rotate these, and today it's the turn of our kettle, water filter and microwave. Next, it is time for one of the jobs that I hate the most, which is cleaning the front of the kitchen cabinets. There is just something about this job that I hate with a passion, even though it always needs doing. It feels like it just might be a me issue, but my kitchen cabinets, they get really bad, and I don't know if I'm just a really messy cook, but there always seems to be coffee drips down them and other drips down them. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And this is especially bad around the sink and the coffee station area, so I guess it must just be that I'm really messy. The coffee station area in particular gets dirty so quickly, and well, you'll see that in a little bit when I get to that part of the clean. But right now, let's talk a little bit about what I mean by zone clean. Many of you will already know, because I know a lot of you follow the same system as me, but I loosely follow the FlyLady Cleaning System, which basically organises your house cleaning and your home management tasks into a series of lists and habits. And these include daily, weekly and monthly routines. The zone clean is a monthly routine where you divide your home into 5 zones and allocate a zone to a week of the month. So week 1 is hallway, week 2 of the month is the kitchen, and so on. And then you just rinse and repeat every month. It works really well, and it has worked really well for me in the past, but I have been struggling with my routines this year, and I just cannot find a rhythm that's working this year for some reason. I keep trying, but I just don't seem to manage to stick to a routine very well right now. I'm really struggling with executive dysfunction at the moment, which, if you haven't heard the term, it's a description of a symptom that a lot of people suffer with. And the cause can be varied. It can be from neurodivergency to all sorts of medical issues that cause fatigue, or any issue with brain function basically. So things like working memory or ability to focus. Basically, it makes planning, organisation and time management type tasks really difficult to deal with. And executive dysfunction is actually quite a big issue in this house, which is why we set up the routines we have. But even with the best routines in the world, sometimes there is very little you can do, but be kind to yourself and accept that you're going through a bit of a bad brain day or a bad brain period, in my case. And that's where I've been for a few months, and I found that beating myself up for it doesn't really help at all. So I'm trying to be patient with myself, which is a good lesson for us all. Sometimes we all need a little kindness and patience, even from ourselves. So cabinets are done, and next I can move on to a couple of the big areas planned for this week's clean, which is the stovetop and the coffee station area. For the stove, I might have to get a stronger type of cleaner and give all of the little parts a good soak at some point, but I did my best today with what I have. If you've got any tips for cleaning stuff like this, then please let me know in the comments, because I can never seem to get these as shiny as I want them to be. And maybe it's just because the oven's really old and it will never be as shiny as it is in my head. The coffee area is one of the most satisfying areas to clean, probably because it gets so dirty, but it's also a really easy to clean type of mess. And this month I decided to give everything a really good clean, which meant removing everything and taking all of the moving parts off the coffee machine and the coffee grinder and giving them a good wash. I even ran a descale cleaning program on the coffee machine, and it does all look so good once it's finished. the end of the day's cleaning, and I always finish a clean by cleaning the floor. This floor gets very messy every day. Partly because apparently I'm quite a messy cook, but also this is the dog's access to the garden, so she's in and out of here all day tracking mud through the kitchen. And there's just an extra amount of mud at the moment because we are working on our garden, and there's a lot of mess and mud and just stuff, and it's coming into the house, and there's not much I can do with it right now. This is just a period of life we're in. But I always find that a clean floor really finishes off a room and brings it together. And it just always makes it feel like I've made a really big difference to the room. It probably doesn't make as much difference as I think it does, but it makes me feel better, and that's what counts. And then I finished off the day by popping my cleaning cloths into the washing machine because I used a lot of them today. As you can see from the before and after picture, the room does look so much better and hopefully provides me with a good baseline to keep things clean for the next month until it's time to do this zone clean again. Thank you so much for watching and keeping me company while I clean. It makes such a difference to know that you're here. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, then I would love it if you did and joined me again in the future. I miss her, and I make videos like this with my wife Blaze. We also make videos on updates on how we look after our home in general, and update you regularly on our ongoing project to set up our garden and renovate our home. If you want more regular updates, then check out our Instagram or Blue Sky, because that's where I post things the most often. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next week.